And Mind Crypto here. I hope we're all having a wonderful day. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice, and none of the information provided in this video should ever be seen or taken as a signal to buy or to sell. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any further videos with regards to quant. And as we can see, we are here looking at the crypto bubbles as usual. And we can see it's rather red in the market. Quant is up one rank to 72 with a 1.24 billion market cap. Current price sitting at that stable $102. And we can see volume has been very low over the weekend. And we look at the quant exchange reserves, we can see the last value was 1.537 billion. But what we're interested in is the spot exchange reserves, because as we can see, they are going sideways at the moment. We've got 245,000 quant. And that brings me to sentiment. And as we can see here, seeing this a lot of FUD, a lot of worry, a lot of frustration within the market. This guy here said, I sold all my quant, most boring project I've ever seen. Now, to be fair, I think a lot of the utility projects at the moment are what you would deem very boring. But are they? Now, I posted this out earlier. It says here, boring, if in doubt, zoom out. Now, we know that BTC determines most of the movement within the market. So if BTC drops 2%, we see a bigger drop in altcoins. Now, if something's happening in BTC, we will see that mirrored effect, but a lot worse within the altcoins. Now, at the moment, we can see here, which pattern is it on BTC chart? Now, are we seeing an Adam and Eve, which we see here? Or are we seeing an inverse head and shoulders, which we're seeing here? You can see that almost the outline of an inverse head and shoulders. Or are we seeing a cup and handle starting to form? Now, for me, this does not look boring. Now, if BTC is here and it's ready to run, then we know some of that will flow into the alts at some point when we see that shift. We know the flow of crypto is that BTC goes first, then the bigger market caps, and then we see the mid caps and then the small micro caps all start to follow. Now, and in my eyes, either of those patterns are very, very positive. Now, we also move over here. Now, I see this from $100 million, and he says, while the price action may look boring to you now, quant is just brewing for a mega run. And you've got to think about everything that they've been doing during the bear market, everything that they're posting, the news, all accumulating, all bubbling up in the background. And will that be realized? Well, I wouldn't be invested if I didn't think that was the case. And he says here, if you notice the previous 6,000% move, it had a boring price action for close to a year. If we achieve half of what we achieved last run, that's more than 2,000% from its current level. So let's have a look at this chart. We can see this 6,491% here rise. And then we see this. We are right here. He's got it placed at the 121 mark. But we see if this comes true, we see a 2,000% rise, which he's saying could reach up to 2,490 per quant. Now, just because it's boring doesn't mean that something isn't cooking. Now, we saw this at the end of last year. City AM, Quant Chief, bring on the boring blockchain use case. And as it was said here, the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried was not just about individuals' actions, but rather an emblematic moment in the revolution of decentralized finance. It signifies the decline of the crypto bro persona, a much needed societal shunning that should usher in a shift towards more pragmatic, regulated, purposeful applications of blockchain technology. Now, we know who does that. Quant. Bankman-Fried's trial spotlighted not just the allegations of fraud and malpractice, but characterized the worst side of crypto hysteria, but also the know-it-all attitude and reckless exuberance that typified a particular brand of enthusiast. So again, he's talking about those that just look for the quick pump and dumps. He's looking for the fraud, the criminals within this space. But we are now looking towards something new, a new era within the crypto space, which I am looking so forward to. And he says here, the trial offered a glimpse into the world where expertise and ethics are indispensable, but the narrative isn't just about individuals. Even prior to the trial, we were a good way through the long goodbye to the unregulated DeFi era. This market, if it deserves that term, sprung up because the regulation wasn't there and unscrupulous firms wanted to cash in, offering derivative type lending using crypto. It's heartening to see that much of the world is now embracing regulation designed to ensure consumer protection, fostering a more stable financial landscape. He goes on to say many of those spearheading the early unregulated DeFi ventures were living in a libertarian fantasy and believed that blockchain based financial systems would see the traditional banking sector dwindle into obsolescence. Ironically, they have introduced financial institutions to this game changing technology, which will now be implemented profitably in a regulated space. We're already seeing this happen. A Bitcoin ETF, as we've seen, is already here, and the London stock market preparing those indexes. Even where consumers do not want access to crypto speculation, they will look to engage with regulated and trustworthy brands. Much more importantly, financial institutions are swiftly embracing transformative blockchain technology for day to day functions. So, this is all looking very, very interesting. And as we look at this chart from $100 million, and we can see these patterns, and we move over, we look at my posts, we can see patterns. This, for me, is looking very, very positive. And we go back to the boring use cases. At some point, they will shine. At some point, regulation will come in. We'll see a lot of the meme coins starting to shift over to more safe, utility driven assets. That's what I believe. So, what do you believe? Do you believe that regulation will shift everything over at some point? I certainly believe so. And if looking at these charts and what's happening with BTC at the moment, well, we'll have to wait and see. So, there you go, guys. All the best, and I'll catch you later.